Upbeat, mysterious music begins, then fades slightly to allow narration. For over 3,000 years, the pharaohs of Egypt ruled as both kings and gods. Their monuments still rise from the desert sands, their names carved in stone: Tutankhamun, Ramses, Cleopatra. But who were these legendary rulers, and why do they still capture our imagination today? Join us as we journey down the Nile and uncover the stories of the most famous pharaohs who shaped the ancient world. Geno Transition Music. Our story begins around 3100 BCE with a figure shrouded in legend, Narmer. Before him, Egypt was a divided land, two separate kingdoms known as Upper and Lower Egypt. Imagine the constant conflict, the cultural divides. Narmer, a powerful ruler from the south, changed everything. The famous Narmer Palette, one of the most incredible artifacts from this era, depicts him wearing the crowns of both lands. This isn't just art. It's a political statement. It shows him as the unifier, the man who forged one of the world's first great nations from two. By bringing Upper and Lower Egypt together, Narmer didn't just become the first pharaoh. He laid the foundation for a civilization that would last for millennia. He established the first dynasty in the capital city of Memphis, setting the stage for all the greatness that was to come. Slightly more majestic music. Fast forward about 500 years to the Old Kingdom, an era of unprecedented power and ambition. This brings us to a name synonymous with Egypt itself, Khufu. When you picture Egypt, you picture the Great Pyramid of Giza, right? That was his project. It's the last surviving wonder of the ancient world, a masterpiece of engineering that has baffled experts for centuries. Think about the sheer scale of it. Over 2 million massive stone blocks, some weighing as much as a truck, were quarried, transported, and lifted into place with astonishing precision. And this was all done without modern machinery. For 20 years, thousands of skilled workers labored to build not just a tomb, but a stairway to the heavens for their god-king. Khufu's pyramid wasn't just a building. It was a symbol of the pharaoh's absolute power and his divine connection to the gods. It declared to the world that Egypt was a civilization of unmatched genius and strength. Elegant, slightly more feminine musical theme. For centuries, the role of pharaoh was exclusively for men. But then came a woman who refused to be sidelined by tradition. Hatshepsut. Originally the regent for her young stepson, she wasn't content to rule from the shadows. In a bold and unprecedented move, she declared herself pharaoh. To legitimize her rule in a deeply patriarchal society, she was often depicted with male attributes, including a false beard. But Hatshepsut's reign wasn't defined by war. It was defined by peace and prosperity. She focused on expanding Egypt's wealth through trade, commissioning a legendary expedition to the distant land of Punt. Her ships returned laden with gold, ivory, and exotic trees, enriching the nation. She was also a prolific builder, restoring temples and creating her own magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, a stunning structure carved into a cliffside. Hatshepsut proved that a woman could rule as effectively as any man, leaving behind a legacy of economic prosperity and architectural beauty. Dramatic, slightly dissonant music. Now, let's meet the most controversial pharaoh of them all, Akhenaten, the rebel pharaoh. For over 1,000 years, Egypt had worshipped a complex pantheon of gods, with Amun-Ra as the king of the gods. Akhenaten decided to throw it all away. He declared that there was only one true god, Aten, the sun disk. This wasn't just a religious change. It was a revolution that shook Egypt to its core. He closed the old temples, moved the capital city to a new location he called Akhetaten, and erased the names of the old gods. Even the art style changed, becoming more realistic and intimate. We see stunning depictions of Akhenaten with his famous wife Nefertiti and their daughters, in a way no pharaoh had been shown before. But his revolution didn't last. To the powerful priests and the common people, this was heresy. After his death, his city was abandoned, his monuments were torn down, and his name was systematically erased from history, an attempt to forget the king who dared to defy 1,000 years of tradition. Mysterious, awe-filled music. The attempt to erase Akhenaten's legacy had an unintended consequence. It gave us the most famous pharaoh of all, Tutankhamun, the boy king. He was Akhenaten's son, and he ascended the throne as a child. His advisors quickly reversed his father's revolution, restoring the old gods and moving the capital back to Thebes. Tutankhamun's own reign was short and relatively insignificant. He died when he was just 19, so why is he so famous? Because of a stroke of luck. While the tombs of more powerful pharaohs were looted by tomb robbers over the centuries, Tutankhamun's small hidden tomb was missed. When archaeologist Howard Carter discovered it in 1922, it was almost completely intact. The world was mesmerized. Inside were over 5,000 priceless artifacts, golden chariots, intricate jewelry, and of course, the iconic solid gold death mask. King Tut's tomb gave us an unprecedented, dazzling window into the wealth and splendor of a pharaoh's life and afterlife, making him a household name forever. Powerful, epic orchestral music. If Tutankhamun is famous for his death, our next pharaoh is famous for his life. Meet Ramses II, better known as Ramses the Great. He ruled for an incredible 67 years, one of the longest reigns in Egyptian history. Ramses was the ultimate pharaoh, a warrior, a diplomat, and a master builder. As a warrior, he led his army in the legendary Battle of Kadesh against the Hittite Empire. Though the battle was technically a stalemate, Ramses portrayed it as a stunning personal victory, covering temple walls across Egypt with carvings of his heroic feats. He was a master of propaganda. As a builder, his ambition was unmatched. He commissioned countless colossal statues of himself, vast temple complexes like Abu Simbel and the Grand Hall at Karnak. Everywhere you look in Egypt, you see his name, Ramses. He didn't just rule Egypt, he branded it. By the end of his long life, he had left an indelible mark on the landscape and defined the very image of a powerful, godlike king. Romantic, dramatic, and slightly tragic music. Our final pharaoh ruled when Egypt's golden age was a distant memory. The Roman Republic was on the rise, and Egypt was a prize they desperately wanted. On the throne sat a woman of incredible intelligence, charisma, and ruthless ambition, Cleopatra VII. She was not Egyptian by blood. She was Greek, a descendant of Alexander the Great's general, Ptolemy. But she embraced Egyptian culture and was the only ruler of her dynasty to learn the Egyptian language. To hold on to her crumbling kingdom, Cleopatra made powerful allies, famously forging relationships with two of Rome's most powerful men, Julius Caesar and after his death, Mark Antony. Their love story is one of history's greatest dramas. Together, they challenged the might of Rome, but ultimately, they were defeated. Rather than be paraded through Rome as a captive, Cleopatra chose her own destiny. Her dramatic death marked the end of the pharaohs and the end of an independent Egypt, which became a province of the Roman Empire. Reflective, grand music returns. From god kings to warrior queens, the pharaohs left behind more than just pyramids and temples. They left behind legend stories of ambition, innovation, rebellion, and love. Their world may have vanished into the sands of time, but their stories prove why Egypt will forever be the land of timeless kings. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient Egypt, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into history. See you next time.